Welcome back to another episode of Game Audio Dev React. My name is Adam, and today we're going to be looking into Saints Row, which is developed by Volition, and it's developed by a bunch of other studios under the Deep Silver umbrella, basically. So yeah, we're going to be looking into the audio. I've played an hour or so far, just to get past the initial tutorial. We will talk about it. But yeah, before we go any further, please make sure to like and subscribe to appease the algorithm gods, and let's get straight into the video. Okay, so this is the latest in the Saints Row franchise. This is just Saints Row, like a reboot. I used to play Saints Row 1, 2, and 3 so much when I was younger. I absolutely love the style of the games. I thought they were really fun. Now, I've been trying to get my controller to work with this game, and I don't know whether it's because of Epic Games Store or whether it's because of the game itself. Just does not seem to recognize it.
This isn't so bad.
PlayStation controller. So, let's get straight into it using keyboard and mouse instead. There's a lot of interesting choices. So yeah, let's listen to the ambience to begin with.
This is so nice.
You can kind of barely hear it, and it kind of sounds like it's coming from one place. So that's an example I wanted to cover. So here there's no music, there's no ambience or anything, it just kind of cuts out with some really like roomy assets. Whereas that UI click is very nice, very loud and present.
God, I love this.
There's just nothing for those gunshots, and it kind of just cuts out. And that's a lot of what I've experienced so far with this game. Also, I've noticed that the VO is like incredibly loud compared to everything else. Let's try and get a better example. Let's go somewhere a bit more interesting.
Ooh, this is really something. I love my phone until someone calls.
Wow, this really
But I don't know about you guys, but I just feel like the game is incredibly quiet overall, and it feels like there's a bunch of stuff that should just be far louder in the mix than they are. So, like, I've got it cranked right now, and I'm barely hearing the footsteps. The footsteps are quieter than the foley movement of the jacket. Moving through that grass is quite nice, actually. Just heard one of the loops stop there on the ambience. It just came back in there. Yeah, those footsteps there, they sound like they're like a raised, kind of hollow metal staircase there. That would be more like a really thick piece of metal. Yeah, the ambience is just very strange, I would say.
Fuck yeah!
Okay. So let's just try and listen out to what we can hear, because there's definitely things happening. But it just sounds like it sounds like we're on the wrong mix preset. It sounds like, you know, when you only have a pair of headphones on, but you put it into like some really obscure mix setting, you know. And I've got to say as well that all of these settings are by default. You know, this is as it comes out of the box, basically. It's almost like all of the ambience is kind of happening behind me at all times. And things are coming from certain things in the world, like they are spatialized. But in a really strange kind of way. Ooh. Quite like those impact sounds. Huh. Like that train, I couldn't really tell it was even there. I'm almost struggling to describe it. You know, when you go to a gig and you don't bring like earplugs and you really feel it kind of like afterwards. and you kind of feel a little bit like hard of hearing for the rest of the evening. It kind of feels like that, or like if you've been underwater. There's like, I'm really struggling to find clarity in anything. Like, I'm hearing the sounds,
Hold up.
but it feels wrong, you know? Even the impact sounds there. It should be... You could put those up by 20 decibels or something really... Oh, sorry. Something really extreme. And the car itself is like... It should be the... That felt nice, but that should be the focal point, and I feel like I'm barely hearing it here.
Stop!
But then again, I'm hearing like the VO from characters way behind me really clearly, but I'm barely hearing the car. I mean, visually, when you're driving, this is actually really nice. Feels good to play even on keyboard and mouse. Which isn't like my go-to for open world games like this. Yeah, so the speedboat, you know, it has interactive audio, so when you go faster or slower, it's like pitching it up and down, which is quite standard for a vehicle. But then when you're leaving the ground, I'm not really hearing many sounds. I was hearing it cut off at points as well. And then when you're actually in the air and then you land, it doesn't really make an impact sound. I'm stood here. And it's really hard to hear anything, really. I'm hearing some nice one-shots behind me. There's like insects and things. But it's not doing enough heavy lifting to lift this mix up. I feel like there should be some like 2D, at least 2D ambiences that we're just hearing to really bring up that level. Because this is incredibly quiet. So that's nice. You can hear as it's running out of ammo, there's like a designed asset in there which makes it sound more hollow, more clicky as you start to run out of ammo, which is nice. You see that in a lot of games. It's always nice just to have that like auditory warning that you're about to run out of bullets. Again, it's a gun. It should sound so loud and present and full, but it sounds really narrow whilst also being kind of hard to detect really where that sound is coming from. Like it's kind of like here somewhere. Yeah, that reload is very 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 wet sounding, but not in kind of like a reverby way, but yeah, not sure about that. What other guns have we got? Our own fists. The punches are more full than most of the sounds we've heard in this game so far. There's like a really low rumbly, not super low, but like 150 hertz area, so maybe slightly more kind of rumbly-esque sound there. Strange. It's like we're only hearing the tail of this gun. Like we're only hearing like the distance sound that you would use for it. Huh. So The bullet impacts are nice, but I don't know why they're louder than the gun itself. I mean, surely, in this circumstance, the gun should be by far the loudest thing. It should be deafeningly loud. Yeah, that's not good, I'm afraid. That is not good. So I was... Oh, the loop cut out there. Oh. Okay, so the ambience is like cutting in and out there. It sounds like what was happening there is there was sidechaining going on, and the police siren was sidechaining the ambience, which is kind of an interesting idea, really, because if the police are after you, it would be good for that to prevail through the mix over most other things, I would say, especially in the distance. But they're not chasing me particularly, so I shouldn't really need to hear it if it's just kind of like ambient background sounds going on. And it shouldn't cut the mix like that. This is really strange. Are you hearing it cutting in and out there?
Snap.
Okay, so again, there's another example of the VO being really loud. Really, really loud there. But I'm hearing all of these cars. There's all of these engines going on at once. But I'm hearing the cicadas and my jacket more than anything else. By far, by far. I've never quite seen anything like it. This is really bizarre. And to be honest...
That's right. I do always get the last one.
I don't even know if this is skill issue. I don't even know if this is down to, like, bad assets. I genuinely think that this is just a little bit of a careless mix, to be honest.
You smell.
But I wonder
High score.
how many stages of feedback this must have gone through, because there are so many, like, glaring mix issues here. And I don't really like being this harsh,
Don't concern you.
but this is very problematic for a game that came out in the last couple of years.
Can sweat.
This character isn't playing any music. He did when you hit him, though. You're not really hearing the foley of these other people moving. You're hearing the occasional scream. There's people all the way down there reacting to it. Okay, so it is spawning actual bullets.
I can do more for the cause.
Why are you so loud, sir? Right, I knew I could hear that earlier. Right, so there is actually sounds for when you step over the bullets. There is actually sounds, which is really surprising that there is something to that detail given the rest of the mix. So let's try and walk over these again. Interesting. So I'm hearing that VO a lot louder than the literal explosion from that car there.
Fight is for all. You just added to your sentence.
And again, the character breathing sounds there, or like exasperation sounds. They were very like here and very present, but everything else kind of sounds like it's trying to be from the player's, like, camera's position rather. This bike actually does sound louder than the others. That's cool, okay. When we move the camera around. It sounds pretty static, to be honest. Okay. Again, we're hearing what should be really quiet, and we literally didn't even hear the car running over this person. That's so strange.
No.
So the game is encouraging you to get airtime on this bike, but there's just not really any audio to represent that either, so... I mean, kind of. But it was only because... I think that was only because I let go of the accelerator, but I'm not really hearing... Yeah, there's no sound there when you're traveling in the air.
What is wrong with you? Ah!
Implementing something where your character... Basically, to change the audio based on how high your character is off the ground, or even just to tell if the character is off the ground whatsoever,
What's the hold up?
is one of the more simple things to set up. It's literally just a single value, usually. So I'm surprised that there isn't more interactive audio. But there is audio on the walking over the bullet shells, which didn't even just sound like a surface type. It sounded like there was the normal footstep triggers, the normal surface types and whatnot, but then it was also creating like a physics object for each of the bullets. Madness.
Down for the count.
So comparatively,
Stop what you're doing.
those like kill animations are actually really nice sounding, but I think that's just because
Hell yeah!
the standards have been brought down elsewhere in this game.
Enough already.
Yeah, leave a comment down below if you want to see me cover something like Saints Row 2, for example, which... Huh? So the...
Another body? How many is that today?
What? So the car sounds are muffled, but it's an open roof car. There is no roof. So we're hearing things muffled, which isn't as it would be a nice touch normally having an EQ when you get in and out of a car. But if you're gonna have a game on this scale, it's kind of got to be. You kind of got to do that for every car variant, right? Like every motorbike, every car that you can take the sunroof. You can open the sunroof, or all of these different things. A convertible. All of them need to be considered. So that drifting sound is really bizarre as well. It's almost like it's restarting the sound every time it happens, with maybe a half second to a second delay or so. So let's try that again. And you can hear that it's kind of like stealing itself. Jesus. Oh, I guess we're fine. Cool.
I'm gonna beat your ass!
Yeah, it'd also be a nice touch for, I guess modern games should, it's expected that they should do this. But if a character is talking and then you kill them mid-sentence, it should cut off as soon as they die. It's to be expected, I think, in a game like this. Hello, sir. Yeah, again, another detail here is the windscreen has been smashed. So this car wouldn't be muffled. And in which case, the more we think about it, we're hearing this from the character's perspective now. We're not seeing this from the camera's perspective. So there's this really big, I guess, tug of war going on between what you should and shouldn't hear through the character's own ears. It should really be one or the other, let's be honest. So if we're hearing everything through the character's ears, things sound really close. Personally, I prefer to hear it from the camera. That feels more natural than hearing things like a concealed space when we are this far away. But yeah, I mean, the point really, as soon as any of the windscreens break, there should be a mix change there. But yeah, we're hearing the muffled car audio. We're barely hearing the impacts, which again, you'd hear those so loudly. But we're hearing the VO so... I mean, I know I've said this a million times now, but... And, like, this is clearly an enemy vehicle that has just came up behind us. And we didn't hear them coming. But... there is other exceptions in the game where it does do stuff like that, where you're hearing, like, the police siren being sidechained. So... there's clearly that kind of system in place where you should hear danger approaching. But when there is actually danger approaching towards me, I'm not hearing it, so... very, very strange. Yeah, leave a comment down below if you'd like to see me do, like, a redesign of, like, a video of this game. Basically just to take a video of this game, redesign it, and see how I would approach it myself. Because I think there's a bunch of really cool stuff that we could do with this. Really to just kind of, like... take what they have and accentuate it. Honestly, it would be an awesome opportunity to take the game files to get in the editor. I'm not sure what they use for the middle. I think it's Wise actually they use, and to just give this a big sweep, just remix the entire thing, make a bunch of new assets for it, and really just kind of clean it up. Because whoa, because there's so much you could do with this. I don't think you need many people. But I think this game could do so much better. I think that this game deserves a cleaner audio pass, personally. And I think we are going to call it there. I've been quite harsh to this game, I'd say, but it's a tough one. There's so much that could be done with the mix and with a lot of the assets too. I think that it kind of just deserves like a big old rework, I think. I think because of the reception that the game had, I doubt that that will ever happen, because I don't know if they still support it, which is a shame, because there's so much potential. But yeah, definitely a big sweeping mix pass would be really cool. I guess you never really know with these things. So sorry if anyone who was on the development team watched this. Apologies, but yeah, that's how I feel about it. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Please make sure to like and subscribe to appease the algorithm gods, and I'll see you next time. Let's go!